Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your attending in these presentations. My name is Muhammad Ali Pahmi. I came from Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Muhammad Agency, and with my college partner in the research is Mr. Mudyarto from Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. In this presentation, we would like to present our paper with the title Review the Development of Indonesian Property Sector Amidst 2019 Global Economic Stagnations and Prediction on Post-COVID-19 Recovery. Over the past few years, the trade war between the US and China began to have an impact on the global economy and is predicted to have reached a point of stagnation. However, when the global condition affect other sectors in Indonesia, it seems the infrastructure is persisting, even tend to increase steadily. And in November 2019, China was shocked with the development of mysterious flu virus that quickly had a fatal impact and spread rapidly. The aims of this research is consist of how many clusters in the property sector in Indonesia. Second, what is the performance of the property sector under crisis and stagnation economy? The third one is what is the impact and the recovery predictions post-COVID-19. The method that we use is related to the literature review. We review economic reports and previous studies, financial performance of each company, and we do cluster analysis. We have several findings in this paper. We found that there are 3 clusters in property sector, and there have been a shifting change market leaders in terms of equity growth. The average growth in equity value is estimated by cluster C, and the estimated recovery of infrastructure industry in Indonesia is at quarter 1 in 2021. Global economic stagnations, based on our research on literature review, is caused by several factors. First, the trade war between US and China, which already happened at least more than 10 years. And then the second one is the economic setback in Europe. The third one is the global climate change and weakening currencies. However, when the global economic stagnation affects several industry sectors in Indonesia, we see that infrastructure is increased steadily. This is in line with the impact of the government policies to catch up with the infrastructure project sector with other countries and to boost up economy. However, in November 2019, a coronavirus is spread, and the rapid spread of the COVID-19 began to infect other countries in the world and spread global terror pandemic, an impact on global and regional economic growth. Indonesia, as one of the countries affected, revised the national GDP from initially around range of 5 until 5.0% to 4.2 and 4.6%, and even with the worst prediction scheme could reach minus 0.4 and minus 2.4%. Research aim: first, how many clusters in the property sector in Indonesia? The second one, what is the performance of this property sector under crisis? And what is the impact of COVID and also recovery predictions? The method that being used in this paper, we have 5 segments. First is collecting secondary data, and then we do clustering analysis. We analyze and synthesize, and impact and predictions and conclusions. Of course, we have the data to support this. We make a literature review from economic report, financial, and the performance of each company in infrastructure sector. Also, we are also mapping an all company that listed in the stock in Indonesia and reviewing and recording all financial statement at least 5 years before. And then we also performing cluster analysis on data mapping based on equity and relative growth. And we do cluster analysis and the growth to see the growth of industrial sector in the crisis area. The last one is we see the insight in economic report to see the impact and predictions and make and conclusions. Result and discussions. Based on our literature review, the impact of the global crisis, both global and regional, to Indonesian economies, we can see that the market capital as global has affected widely across every sector in the global. For example, oil and gas is affected minus 48%, and as for the retail, the impact is minus 14%. And we can also see that the GDP of each country in the world is also affected by it, yeah, and predicted to be recovery in 2021. And the symptoms of this epidemic on economy in Indonesia, based on the governor of Bank Indonesia, revised the economic growth from 5 to 4.2 and 4.6%. The Ministry of Finance of Republic Indonesia also stated the economic growth is at least at 2.3%, with the worst scenario between minus 0.4% to minus 2.4%. And we see that this also affect on the weakening of currency. As per 3 April in 2020, $1 is equal as 16,495 rupiah. So this is the impact on the global and also to the Indonesian economies. Continue to the result and discussion. We also see the growth of the industry sector in the crisis area, especially in infrastructure. We see that from the data we're gathering, we have 56 companies that listed in infrastructure, and with 33.6% project is being held in West Java province. And there are 6 types of infrastructure project. Consists of industrial constructions, shopping center, apartment or high-rise constructions, real estate or land house, property management, and general contractor. We can see that the high-rise is the project that most higher than the other project in infrastructure. And from the data, we also make clustering based on equity. From the 56 company, there are 3 clusters, yeah, based on equity. Okay, we classify this cluster. Okay, this is the relative growth market share on each cluster. For example, in cluster A, the leader is from the Bakri land with equity growth 9.8 trillion and the growth rate at 59.6%. For the cluster B, the leader in the cluster is Urban Jakarta Propertindo with equity equal as 1.08 trillion, growth at 302.5%. And then for cluster C, Natural City Development is the leader with 0.7 trillion with the growth rate at 225.4%. And then we also see the growth percentage of equity that growth in 5 years. As we can see that there are 3 clusters, and we see that The cluster C is tend to increase. Yeah? Even at the 2016, there's a peak in 2016, and the pace is continue to rise in 2018. This indicates that the middle class segment of the lower class is likely to continue growth rapidly in the chaotic era, with estimated growth at 30 and until 39%. And for other clusters, yeah, it's tend to be uh, continues to downfall. Yeah. So we can see that the cluster C is more dominated compared to other clusters. And we also see the impact of COVID on the property sectors. And based on the two studies that being related to this, yeah, we can see studies show that the capital market of real estate industry affected minus 32% globally, while infrastructure fell by minus 23%. And a study by EFC analysts state that the constructions and real estate has the potential to become the potential losers, and estimated the fastest recovery in Q1 2021. From all of this data, we make conclusions. First, from the mapping data that has been collected, we do clustering analysis by looking at tendency to form cluster, and due to the similarity in shape and size of the company based on 2018 equity value, there are three clusters known as cluster A, B, and C, as we discussed before. The second one, on those three clusters, there has been shifting and change market leaders in terms of equity growth between the cluster leader and its member, with finding: 1. The average growth in equity value is dominated by cluster C, which peaked in 2016 and despite a decline in 2017, but the pace continues to rise in 2018. Second one, this indicates that the middle class segment of the lower class is likely high to continue growth rapidly in the chaotic era, with estimated growth at 30 and 39%. Cluster C generally target the type of real estate or land house or housing project. Conversely, the middle and upper market share in Cluster B and Cluster A in particular slowed growth. Third, based on McKinsey study, the capital market of the real estate industry was affected by minus 32%, while infrastructure fell by around minus 23%. And based on a study by EFC in Figure 4, state that the construction and real estate industry has the potential to become one of the industrial potential losers, and is predicted to take a long time to recover, estimated recovery in Q1 2021. So that is the conclusion of our research based on literature review, and this is the reference for that we get read. And thank you for your kind attention to join this presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.